Hello everyone, today I'll be discussing can climate change be treated as a human rights issue? For many years, climate change was viewed as an environmental concern, something for scientists, conservationists, and policymakers to address. However, the reality we witness today tells a different story. Climate change is not just about rising temperatures or melting glaciers, it is about people. It is about lives, livelihoods, dignity, and justice. Human rights are the fundamental rights every individual possesses simply by being human. These include the right to life, health, food, water, housing, education, and a clean environment. Climate change threatens each of these rights. When extreme heat claims lives, floods destroy homes, droughts leave communities without water, or rising sea levels force families to abandon their ancestral lands, it is not merely an environmental crisis, it is a human rights crisis. The impact of climate change is not equally distributed. Those who contribute the least to global carbon emissions often suffer the most. Farmers battling unpredictable rainfall, coastal communities facing displacement, indigenous populations losing their traditional habitats, and children growing up in polluted environments bear disproportionate burden. This inequality raises serious concern and question of justice and fairness. Climate change, therefore, is also an issue of social and intergenerational equity. Courts across the world are increasingly recognizing this connection. Citizens, especially young people, are approaching courts to demand stronger climate action, arguing that governments have a duty to protect their fundamental rights. These cases demonstrate that climate policies are no longer just political choices, they are legal and moral obligations linked to the protection of human dignity. In India, the constitution guarantees the right to life under Article 21, which the judiciary has interpreted broadly to conclude the right to live in a healthy and pollution free environment. As climate related disasters become more frequent and severe, protecting the environment becomes inseparable from protecting constitutional rights. Treating climate change as a human rights issue also changes how we respond to it. Instead of viewing climate action as an economic burden, we begin to see it as an obligation to safeguard human life. Governments become accountable, corporations are expected to act responsibly, and citizens are empowered to demand meaningful action. Climate justice requires that vulnerable communities receive protection, adaptation support, and voice in decisions that affect their future. As the younger generation, we often hear that we are the future. But climate change reminds us that the future is being shaped today. Every delayed decision, every ignored warning, and every avoidable emission affects not only the planet but also the rights of present and future generations. In conclusion, climate change is far more than an environmental problem. It is a challenge to human dignity, equality, and justice. Recognizing it as a human rights issue is not simply a matter of legal interpretation. It is an acknowledgement that every person deserves the opportunity to live in a safe, healthy, and sustainable world. Let us remember that protecting the environment is not only about saving nature, it is about protecting humanity itself. Thank you so much for watching the video.